Good morning and welcome back. Mr. Parker here live for today's episode of Homeschool Psychology, the talk show. And we have an awesome show for you today. We have musical guest Arbour Season live from their school bus house that they travel all around the world in. They're going to talk to us about our topic and then play us a song. And we also have special guest James Barrett. And James is a journalist who's covered everything from travel to interviews to lifestyle and entertainment. You might have seen some of his writing in Cosmo or Pop Sugar. I'm really excited to have them both on the show today to talk all about our topic, which is travel. Travel, such a cool thing. If you get a chance, you should travel. Maybe you just travel from your front door to your next door neighbor's house, or maybe you travel all around the world in a school bus that you turn into a house. I don't know, but I've really enjoyed traveling. To me, travel is stepping out of our comfort zone. It's seeing something new. It's an opportunity to meet new people and have new experiences. Travel is super important to me as I have traveled to a bunch of different countries and met a bunch of different people that are still my friends today. So let's get our first guest on the show, and it's James to talk about travel. James, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. Where are you right now?
I'm located in New Jersey, about 30 miles out of New York City.
Wow. Is it cold there right now?
Yeah, you might need like a light winter jacket.
Okay.
But it's sunny, it's still nice out. All the leaves fell.
Sounds
Preparing
beautiful.
for winter.
So, James, I talked a little bit about who you are. You've written a couple papers and things, and you're in a couple magazines. Tell us about who you are.
Yeah, so I'm a freelance travel and lifestyle writer. And obviously I was doing a lot more travel before COVID, but I really love to just go to places. I get invited by tourism boards, resorts, and the rest, telling the story is really up to me. I get to experience it. And if there's something really cool, because most of the time you find the coolest things you find are the things that typically aren't in the brochure. So I get to really play those up, interview locals, and tell those stories.
So I just said how much I love travel. You're telling me you get paid to just travel and enjoy?
Kind of. Yeah.
That's so amazing. And that's great because our show is all about travel. And so I'm hoping you could talk a little bit more about travel. What was it like
Yeah.
to travel before COVID and all the time?
Well, I think if COVID taught us anything, it's that I don't think any of us would have thought travel could be taken for granted like it has now. So as I've been home for the last 8 months, I have just kind of been reflecting. Like, I went on a cruise in December for 10 days, and it was one of the most amazing trips I've been on. And now thinking about it, it doesn't really exist anymore. Or when it does come back, it probably wouldn't be the same as I remembered it, with all these new protocols and safety and all that jazz.
Do you feel like when you were on that cruise, like in the moment, were you like, this is the best cruise ever? Or looking back, are you like, wow, I really miss cruises and that was awesome?
No, it was definitely in the moment like a great trip. I actually took my mom, and she was not on an airplane for 12 years. She had to get a passport for the trip. And when I asked her at first, she said no. And then I was like, all right, well, like, I need to know a definite answer. So I'm really happy she got to go and we got to experience that, because now it's a distant, far distant memory. And I don't know when the next time we'll be going on a cruise or out of the country.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like a really awesome experience to have with your mom. I'm
Yeah.
glad you got to do that before everything shut down. Talk to us about like travel. Why is it important? Like, I am pretty comfortable here in my backyard. This is what I know. Why is travel important?
Right. Well, people travel for a few different reasons. One, I think, is for the adventurer, someone who wants to experience something new. And it's not always about going to the all inclusive resort, especially young people now. They want to make their own itineraries. They don't want to be just given a schedule of things to do. And with that, you really discover a lot of hidden gems at these really popular destinations. And then also, it's to just kind of take a break from your everyday life. Like, hit pause on your routine and just go experience, have fun. Don't really have a set plan. And that's really exciting.
I love that. Hit pause on your everyday routine. I'm gonna do that today, maybe. Do you have a funny travel story of maybe something that went wrong and it ended up being good, or just something memorable about travel?
Yeah, I have two short ones actually. I had some downtime when I was in Arizona by myself, and I really wanted to go hiking to the Arizona hot springs. They're like these crazy natural hot springs where some of them you wouldn't even put your foot in because they're so hot. But I put it into my Google Maps on my phone, and I actually got lost. I was like, okay, let me just go back this way. And I would end up at a cliff, I would end up at a wall. Everything in the desert just kind of looks the same. So I ended up just going to the highest point I could reach. And I climbed to the highest point, and I ended up finding my way after about an hour back to where I started. But I still wanted to see these hot springs. So I kind of like jogged, ran down to them, and I made a couple friends from going down there. And we actually went to dinner after. They drove me back to my hotel, and we still keep in touch on Instagram today.
Wow. So just being open, like I might have thought you'd get discouraged and be like, you know what, I'm just going home, or I'm not going to find these hot springs. But just because you were open to taking a risk, persevering, you made some friends that you're still friends with today and got to go to the hot springs.
Yeah, because I didn't want it running through your mind. You're like, I'm here. Like, when is the next time I'm going to be here? Probably never.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to pass it up. But then I also went to Pig Islands in the Bahamas. And when I posted pictures of it on social media, people thought it was photoshopped. They thought it was fake because there actually is this island in the Bahamas with like 20 to 30 ginormous pigs. Yeah. And they say no one really knows how the pigs got there because they're not native to the land. They're not boars. They're like, think pig, huge pink pigs.
Huh.
But some people say a ship crashed and the pigs were on the ship and swam over to this island. And it was really crazy. You just have these beautiful blue waters in the Caribbean, like nothing's more perfect, and you would never expect there to just be these giant pigs roaming around.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
It sounds like even those 30 pigs are on board for the idea of travel. So we should all get out and travel.
Yeah.
Awesome. James, thank you so much for being here and talking about just taking that risk of travel. And maybe things go wrong. Maybe you get lost 50 times. But in the end, it's that experience that's really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other advice for our viewers at home about travel and why they should do it?
Yeah. I would say going on an adventure and having an amazing trip doesn't mean you need to fly across the world. Like, if coronavirus taught us anything, it's that America is pretty beautiful and there's so much to see that I feel is very underestimated. Like, we have over 400 national parks. So no matter where you are, there's always something to go see and to go explore if you can travel across the country or travel close to your house.
I love that. I think often people get overwhelmed thinking, well, I don't want to get on an airplane for 10 hours and I don't want to go somewhere else. But remembering that there's adventures right here in our backyard.
Yeah.
James, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your fantastic writing. And how cool is it that you get to travel for your job? That's so awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We're going to put some of your links to your new website so everyone can read some of your newest writing. And we'll have it at the bottom.
I'll have to send you a picture of the pigs too.
Yes, we're going to put it on our show. That'd be awesome.
Great.
James, so wonderful to connect. I'll talk with you soon, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye. Wow. James Barrett, famous writer, world traveler. What a cool life. And what an interesting point of view that there's adventures everywhere and we don't have to leave so far to get there. And just going and taking a chance and exploring. And maybe things will go wrong. Probably things will go wrong, but that's okay. And it's how we handle it and keep going and persevering. So coming up next, we have our weather section. Teddy, Pocky, tell us all about it.
Is there weather when it's dark? Yes.
Thanks, guys. Always so insightful. For the next part of our show, we have our musical guest, and it is Arbour Season. And Arbour Season is a fantastic band that I've come across during all of this, who have created a home inside of a school bus, and they tour across the country with it. At one point in time, they were playing over 300 shows a year. That's like barely any time off. Let's hear about what they have to say about travel, and then hear a fantastic song from them. All right, Mr. Parker here live with Arbour Season. What? All the way from cold, freezing, snowy Lake Pleasant, New York?
Yes.
All right, thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us. We're so happy to be here.
So tell us who you are and what do you do?
So we are Arbour Season, husband and wife duo.
Shane.
Emily.
And
We travel full time in a converted school bus.
we play music
Yeah.
in people's houses and backyards and restaurants and pretty much anywhere where people will let us play our music. That's kind of what we do.
Yep.
With our 2-year-old. Although we don't play music with him, he has to be watched by our nanny while we do that because it's in everyone's best interest.
So is New York your home base and then you just drive all around the country?
It's going to be.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
Right now, for the past 5 or so years, we've just been traveling full time, so we don't have a home base.
We have multiple home bases.
Yeah, multiple home. We're literally just constantly on to the next place. But starting next spring, Long Lake, New York, which is in the heart of the Adirondacks, is going to be our home base.
Yay.
Wonderful. So, I mean, first with our topic is travel and you guys travel all the time. And I'm wondering, what is that like as a family traveling, as musicians traveling? And then maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it as traveling and what stuff is like now with our current situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So as a family, it's amazing. It's funny because even the things that are slightly more difficult when it comes to like having a kid on the road, it's still better than when it was just us. We've always had fun together, but this is the only way that we know how to have kids because it's the only way we've ever done it. So we really love it. And I love like the potential for the future of like our kids being able to experience just so much of everything, like firsthand up close and meeting lots of new people and experiencing different cultures and stuff. So, but it can be hard sometimes. And sometimes it's really, really cold. Really cold.
Can you tell us about your magic school bus a little bit?
Yeah, so we lived in an RV, but it's been in my dream to live in a converted school bus for a long time. And so finally, when COVID hit, we weren't able to travel because all of our shows got canceled. So we're like, this is the time. So we bought it, and in 3 months, we converted it. It's got a bedroom in the back. It's got a shower, bunk beds, bathroom, couch, and sinks. And
these are all the things we have to say because I always think it's funny. People will ask us, they'll be like, do you guys have like a bathroom in your school bus? And I'm like, yes, it's 40 feet long. We have a bathroom and a shower.
Yep, we have all those things.
We do.
So we have solar on the top so that when we're traveling, we're not plugged in at an RV park or someone's house, then we're able to run off of our solar. So
that's the idea. It'll happen now. It wasn't working for a while.
It was working, but then our
And then
batteries started smoking and catching on fire. Long story short, we're getting that
now.
fixed. So we're actually in. I say famous because, well, he is, but that's a famous bus builder called Navigation Nowhere. And so we're at his house right now. And if you look him up on Instagram and stuff, he's got a great presence and social media stuff, but he's been fixing all of our.
He's making it safe for us so we can sleep at night.
He's saving our butts.
Yes.
So tomorrow we'll have our solar back up and running, but
yeah,
way better than it was before. So
very cool. And then we're going to watch you play a song in a little bit. And is that in that school bus?
It is.
Yes.
So that's in our bedroom.
We were going to do it outside, but it was really windy and really, really cold. And we were like, let's go for like the intimate, cozy vibe because we're cold.
Love it. We can't wait to watch that.
Yay.
So travel, I'd imagine you two think that it's important. Would you say travel is important?
Yes,
I would.
I think so.
It's interesting when we go to smaller towns throughout the country, and I think it's great for. It's hard to say. There's goods and bads about living in the same town and never leaving. Good in a sense of you. I feel like your values are really strong and you stick to them, and that's what you do. But I think one of the hardest things about not traveling ever is you don't see different perspectives on other cultures and other areas and other events and stuff like that. So traveling full time for us, we're able to see different cultures and different things so that our perspective doesn't stay stagnant, which I think is, I think it's valuable, especially in homeschooling and Sawyer growing up, who's our son, and seeing that I think is just really cool to be able to witness so many different things, different climates, different cultures, different foods, different everything. Like he's seen it all, and I love that. So I think it's important.
So yes.
Yeah.
So while being at home and staying in one place can be very comfortable, the opportunity and just the cool experiences you have from meeting all these different people who are doing things differently than you is valuable.
Yes, I would say even on top of that, for me, the biggest pro of traveling is being pushed so far outside of my comfort zone all the time, because you really learn how to handle situations that are bad in a calm manner, because that's the only way to handle it. When you're on the road and something breaks down, you can't freak out. You have to learn how to have patience and persevere, and you learn how little you actually need to live and be happy and have a fulfilling life. I've learned that I really don't need very much. And for me, I hope that I take that into the rest of my life, no matter if we get a house or move to a city or something, to always remember, I really don't need all of that stuff. So that's the most valuable part of it for me, I think.
And also, the less you have, the less you have to get stolen, which
true.
is fantastic.
We don't worry about people breaking into the bus. We're like, what are they going to do?
I literally have my backpack on. I shouldn't say this too much in case this blows up and gets billions of views and people find out what our bus looks like and they know this. But
as long as he has his backpack, we're good.
We're good. If someone steals something from the bus, it's like, oh, thank you for decluttering our life.
Yeah.
I love what the two you just said, because this show has talked a lot about risk taking. So stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying something. And it's also talked about gratitude and how often we do take things for granted. I have all this stuff and I just forget that I don't need that much. And hearing you guys say that is so refreshing. All you need are these 4 wheels and this 40-foot bus and a bedroom and a couple other things, but that's all you need to be happy and to do things that you love. So with people you love.
I can't even explain the simple things that we find so much pleasure in.
Running water in a fridge that is working.
Because we've had to live in the bus during times where we didn't have those things, or when we go to someone's house and we get to take a long hot shower or use a dishwasher, or doing our laundry and being able, it's just there's so much appreciation that we have for such simple things. And I'm I don't want to lose sight of that, because it happens really, really quick.
Definitely. Tell us, do you have a good travel story? Maybe something funny or wild that happened, or I'm sure.
Well, apparently Emily does.
I don't know. There's just so many. I'm like, I don't know. We've had like poop explosions from our tanks and like, gosh.
Well, the bus was crazy because our very first trip after getting on the road, and this is my favorite story to tell because I barely can change a tire. So this whole building the bus process has taught me a lot about so many different things. But we're on the road, and then I'm laying on the gas and nothing is happening. The bus isn't moving, and so I had to pull over to the side of the road or coast.
The middle of the road.
I had to coast. And so literally I'm like, what do I do? And so we called a tow truck and they said it's going to cost this much money. And I was like, no way, I'm not doing that. And so I was able to find that if I put it in just drive, but didn't actually push on my pedal, I would move a little bit. Anyway, long story short, I got to a parking lot. I called the mechanic and told him what's going on. He said, look under your hood. Do you see something dangling? And I said, yes. He said, that's what you need to fix. And then we got disconnected. And so I'm crawling under the bus, and after I think 6 hours.
This was our first day. We had driven 2 hours with the school bus. It was our maiden voyage.
In 6 hours, I fixed it. I can't believe it. And I got back in the driver's seat, pushed on the gas pedal, and it moved. And I was like, whoa.
Every day that week, though, something happened where our electric wouldn't work or our air conditioner stopped working. The accelerator rod broke again, which is the thing that he fixed. Like every single day, something happened on this trip where it was just like, I was like, we're going to sell this school bus and use the money for a down payment for an RV. I was like, I'm not doing this. We didn't have running water. Our floors were plywood. Like it was and it was so hot. It was like 95 degrees outside. It was terrible, but we made it through.
We made it through.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're survivors.
So you started your trip as famous musicians and you ended it as mechanics and
Now
Neither of those things are true, but I'll take it.
Oh my gosh, this sounds, I mean, that particular trip doesn't sound great, but all of your other ones sound like they've been very fun.
It's been great since then, honestly. Even when little things go wrong, I'm just like, nothing will ever be like that one week, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
some of our viewers maybe have never traveled or have traveled once or twice. So what advice do you have? Like, how do you just do it? And remember, some of these are kids, but for everybody, how do you just step out of your comfort zone and try something like that?
So for me, it was a really easy thing. So we were in Florida playing at Disney twice a week and then other beach restaurants and things like that. And we did one house show and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do just house shows because it was like an intimate setting playing original music. And I thought it was a really big risk to stop making all the money we're making in Florida to travel full time because I knew we were going to make less. But I realized the importance for us, like travel was just more important. The experiences that we wanted to have were more important than money. So we just went out and did it. And we just started reaching out to people across the country, trying to play in their living rooms. And a long story short, there's like a whole method on that. That could be a whole nother topic, but it just started working. People wanted us to play in their living rooms and we just went. We started making sure that our bills were very non-existent. We cut things out of our lives we realized we didn't need.
I think that's the most important thing as far as like how to do something for people that are living different lifestyles than us, because music is one way to travel, but there's lots of ways to do it. But you really have to weigh out what is more important and figure out where your priorities are, because there's a lot of stuff that even we pay for monthly that we don't need. And it's like, if you want to be able to afford to do it, like there are things that you can cut out, or you can like save up money, you know, you can start small or you can start big, but I'm just like, just do it. Find a place that you want to experience it. Try to do it as safely as possible, but also don't be afraid to maybe like sleep on the ground or like not have running water or air conditioning, because sometimes that happens, and just look at it as a memory and a story that you'll have for the rest of your life. Because I don't think that you need to go to like a 5-star resort in Cancun to enjoy traveling. I personally find it much more rewarding to be doing it in a rustic way and just really experiencing the world for what it truly is.
Oh, I was going to say, Paul McCartney, one of the things that he says that I always love is, if you, as a musician, if you were never going to be famous and you knew you never were, would you still play music? And for him, the answer was yes. because what else would I do? And there's nothing else to do because that was his passion. And so for us, like, travel is that for us. We love to travel. So whatever the scary obstacles are in the way, they didn't outweigh the desire of doing what we wanted to do. So
In the end, the whatever bad day that you have is never going to be as bad in hindsight as you feel like it is in the moment. And so even if it's a bad travel experience, in the future, you'll be laughing and telling your friends about that time when you were dumping your RV tanks and poop exploded all over you.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Because that happens.
So your advice, and I'm gonna try and trademark this phrase, is just do it. I think that's very original. I don't think I've ever heard that before. But just do it.
that's so funny that you said that. Because I remember one day I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to work out. I wanted to just do all these different things. And whenever I like think I don't want to do it, I just look at my shoes and I saw the symbol, just do it. I'm just like, literally just do it.
Just do it.
And so you just do it. And it's simple.
Any kids who are watching this, their parents are like, don't listen to them. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's
Our desires and dreams were wholesome, I think. So it was
yes,
easy.
that's important to keep in mind. We were doing safe, normal things.
Before the world locked down, how many shows were you planning a year?
It's hard to say. Like, okay, if we're in Florida, we would play like every single day. And so
we took
would
about
do
4
that.
days off a year
Yeah.
when we were in Florida.
So we would do that for a couple months at a time once we got the RV. And then when we're on the road, I would say we were probably doing like 3 shows a week.
Yeah.
That's pretty average. Whereas now it's very different.
Yeah, I have this book that while Emily answers the next question, I can literally tell you how many shows we played in 2019.
There we go. That'll answer your question. Then we'll tell you how many we've done in 2020.
Yeah. But yeah, you can go ahead and ask the next question. Oh, here we go. I already got it. So we did 126 shows last year. Where when we lived in Florida, we did
like 360.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was pre-COVID, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
So I guess what is being a musician been like now, especially travel?
It's been strange.
It's been
Really
strange.
weird. The first few months we did like lots and lots of live streams, and people were really supportive and very helpful, especially because we were building our bus at the time. And so like a lot of what kind of made us able to pay for it was people helping us out through our live streams, which we're grateful for forever.
Yeah.
And then once we hit the road, it's been hard just because like we'll have shows that like we do a lot of small private house shows. So then it's really up to the host, you know, and if their guests want to come, like that's their thing. We do it safely and social distance and stuff like that. But we'll have stuff that gets canceled last minute because someone doesn't feel comfortable, or like we had a lady who was going to do a show and then she found out that her mom had COVID or something, or she did. And so stuff is a lot more up in the air, and attendance is obviously way, way lower, which affects things. And sometimes shows get canceled just because no one's going to show up. So it's really weird.
It's really weird.
But we're traveling anyways because we couldn't stay in Missouri any longer.
Yeah.
And like you told us before, like any experience is going to be an awesome one, whether you look back on it and it was poop flying out of your RV onto you, or it was, you know, a sold out show with so many people. So yeah.
Yep, it's a different kind of experience, and you have to, I mean, life is full of peaks and valleys, and this might technically look like a valley because it hasn't been a very lucrative season, but it's been so rich and full of experiences and just fun times, and us finding how to do things without spending as much money. That's really important right now. So
yeah,
that's been pretty cool. Lots of walking.
It's just it's crazy because even though this COVID season has been really interesting, this has still been for me the best year of my life.
He said that last year too. Okay, he's an optimist.
I am an optimist, but it's way better than last year. And it's amazing. It's just I'm also a booking agent for a bunch of artists for like from The Voice, American Idol, and speakers for things like that. But that's been helpful on the road as well. But one of the things that we learned, and especially in the college market, which is what I book for, and all the colleges are closing, we realize the problem that's at hand, and we can't give up, but you have to be like, all right, here's our problem. How do we change what we're doing to work with the changes that are here? And so that's all we've been doing with our personal life, and through every other area is just molding, adjusting to what's happening. Yep.
Readjust, adjust.
Just getting creative.
Yeah.
Just like travel, you need to go with the flow whenever something goes wrong.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's no different.
So wonderful. Well, thank you both for being here and talking about travel. And we're about to watch you play inside of a school bus. So excited for that.
Yay.
And we're going to have all your information down in the bottom. Is there anything else you want to say to our tens of viewers that watch every week?
Woo, woo, woo.
I'm going to say, this is what I tell all of my friends. Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable for a little while, because that could be the biggest growing season or the best memory that you ever have, is just being uncomfortable for a little while.
Yeah. And for me, I would just say, like, and it's going to sound cliche maybe, but living in the moment, like really picturing that, because we look at pictures from like a year ago or 2 or 3 or 4 years ago.
Those were such good times.
Like, those were such great times. But one of my favorite artists, Jamie Cullum, says, I see so much magic, though I missed it at the time. And I don't want that to happen today. I want today to be like, I want to live in that memory. And
so basically, YOLO, is that what you're trying to say?
It's kind of what I'm saying, but no, it's not what I'm saying.
No, not at all. Those are two very different things.
Those are two different things.
So live in the moment and be okay being uncomfortable and trying new things. I love it. I love your guys' lifestyle and how just happy you are to be in it. And I'm so happy you're on this show today. Thank you so much.
Do
you want to say hi to Sawyer?
Of course.
Okay.
So you may have to cut this out and come back in. I don't know, but here he comes. Sawyer, come say hi. Say hi, Bubbles.
Hi, Sawyer. Is that a big?
Are you saying hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Good job.
Good job.
All
Sawyer,
right.
which one of your parents has light blonde hair like that?
Naturally. I'm not naturally blue, I promise.
Oh, I thought that was okay. So wonderful to meet all three of you. Sawyer, do you
Thanks
like
so
to
much
travel?
for having us.
Not really.
No.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
Lying. He's lying.
He's lying. He loves it. Do you love it? Do you like to travel with me? Do you like to travel, Bubbles?
I know. I wish that we could be this close to people, Sawyer, but not right now.
Oh, I think he's gonna start counting.
Banana.
He says 3 banana.
3 banana.
Come here. Okay, say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye. He's like, no way, I'm not going. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, we are Arbour season. We got Liz holding the camera for us, so if it's really shaky, it's her fault. All right, let's do this.
We are so thankful that Adam Parker reached out to us, and we're honored to be a part of the Mental Health Talk Show. This is a song that we wrote called Arcadian that can be found on all of the music streaming platforms.
needless pain we bear. Oh, this world so full with all its cares. You made me innocent again, and I thought I found you where you found me. Oh, I thought I found you where you found me. Oh, even the darkness cannot hide your face. Oh, hand in the shadows, I'll rest in your grace. Oh, even the darkness cannot hide your face. Oh, hand in the shadows, I'll rest in your grace. Oh, that pain, oh, that needless pain we bear. Oh, this world so full with all its cares. You made me innocent again, and I thought I found you where you found me. Oh, I thought I found you where you found me. Oh, I thought I found you where you found me. Oh, I thought I found you where you found me.
Awesome song, awesome words around travel. Such a wonderful family. Well, that's our show. It's all about travel. It's about getting out there and exploring, embracing every adventure, and knowing that when things go wrong, it's about the journey and not just where we end up. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
How are you feeling?